So here's the stock to my Thompson Center Hawken build. And if you remember, I said that I got it for a real decent price, and it's not that great, but it's not horrible either. But every time I look at it, I like it less and less, to the point where now I've decided I'm going to redo this stock. I don't think the camera will catch everything, but you see there's a lot of little dings and dents in there. It's just not a good stain job. As you can see, this must have come from a kit, and somebody did this as a kit. And there's even, like, if you look real close, it almost looks like there's paint or something in there. It's just the camera doesn't make it look that bad, but you know, you can see the stain job just isn't that great on it, you know. And I'm just going to go ahead and redo it. So the first step is to do, well, I got to strip off the varnish here. So that's the first step. And I will be using the citrus strip, and should take the varnish right off of here, polyurethane, whatever they had on here, and it should help to take some of the finish off. It's not going to take all of it off, depending on various things. But that's the first step, so let's get to that. So you want to be, you know, generous with this stuff. It's pretty thick. You want to apply it, I mean, when you spread it out with a paintbrush, you want it to be even. You want it to be thick, but you want it to be even as well, if that makes much sense. Just try to get it everywhere. Okay, so here it is, and it's you know, lathered on there pretty good, and it's been on here for a while now, and it's starting to dry, but I'm going to scrape and see if any will come off at this point, or if it just needs more time, or if it needs some more. The directions say after 30 minutes or up to 24 hours, which that's quite a difference. A half hour or up to 24 hours. So it's been several hours, so I'm gonna try and just see, and if not, I'll wait till tomorrow. So you can see it actually is working here. It is starting to take it off, so I'm going to continue to scrape. And you know, it's funny because the stuff smells like, you know, citrus. It smells like orange or lemon or something like that, but it was actually kind of very pleasant. I was enjoying it, but now that it's been hours, and as you start to scrape, it actually starts to smell more like a urinal cake, and it's just not as good now. So here we are the next morning, and I hope you can see that the citrus strip did a very good job. And you can tell, I mean, it basically got rid of everything, but there's a couple little areas. Do you see them shining there? That's where the varnish still is. There's a bigger patch. See that right there? Other than that, it's down to the wood. And you can tell, if you're not sure, feel this. The feeling of this compared to right here, you can definitely tell that this still has some kind of varnish on it, and that this is just down to the wood with stain. So I'm going to apply a little more of the citrus strip just to the little bits that I didn't get last night. You can see the shine there. See that? That's where it didn't come off. So, but it did a great job. So I'll apply a little bit more of this just to this little bit, and wait to take that off before I move on to the next step, which is getting rid of the stain. I'm back with the Thompson Center stock here, and I did use the stain remover, and I didn't think it was working at first, and then I discovered that it was working just fine. I got all the stain off of it, and lo and behold, I believe that this is black walnut, which is kind of like hitting the lottery for me. I really did not expect it to be black walnut, and I'm pretty sure that's what this is. And you can see black walnut is just a beautiful dark wood on its own without the stain. As you can see, it didn't need to be stained. That's why I think it looked so terrible, because I think somebody tried to stain it, and it doesn't take stain well because it's already dark. So as you can see, what this really needs is basically just something like True Oil, which I do have here, and that is what I'm going to be putting on. And it's just gorgeous. I've already sanded it down and put steel wool on, so it's already looking shiny. But this is just a natural color, and I just think it's great wood. I'm really excited about this. I had no clue that this is what it was going to be. And, you know, good for you, Thompson Center, for using black walnut in your kits. I thought, you know, it was going to be maple or something like that, maybe ash. And those things would take a stain. You know, they take stain really well. But this, I mean, this is something you just want to put a clear coat on, because it just doesn't need a stain. It is just gorgeous. Just shined up like it's, I'm really excited, sorry. And anyways, True Oil is the next step, so I'll be applying that. So I've sanded the stock down. I used 320 when there was some scratches, a little bit of scratches that the steaming didn't get out. And then I went over that with 1000 grit and then the quadruple zero steel wool. And did the whole thing in steel wool. So now it's time for the True Oil. Make sure before you do this that it is exactly how you want it and it's ready to go. Because if there's a ding or dent after you add this, you're out of luck. So, alright, time to apply this. You want to do the first coat needs to be very thin. It needs to spread out. And don't worry, because you're going to be sanding it down with the steel wool after it dries. It takes about 24 hours for that first coat to dry. But you want to really make it go as long and as far as you can get it. So let's apply some of the True Oil now. And you want to go with the grain. Run along the grain and just try to get it to go as far as it can go. And it will. A little dab will go quite a way, so just try to get as much as you can, really thin it out. So the first coat is on, and we're going to let that dry for about 24 hours. So make sure it's really thin, really stretch it out, and then we'll be back to do some sanding with the steel wool. Well, it's been several coats later, and I used the steel wool in between each coat. I would just rub it down, and you do it very lightly. You don't have to press hard or anything like that, and you don't need sandpaper. The quadruple zero steel wool will do just fine. And you just kind of rub it down, and it'll kind of become dull, and then you put on another coat, and then you use the steel wool, and so on and so on. And I did that many times. I'm not even sure, but if you see now, it has a great shine to it. It's looking really nice, I think. So, not quite done. Probably going to put on a couple more coats, but you got to be careful, because if the wood isn't perfect, if the stock is not perfect, and you start putting on the true oil, you will see those little marks, those scratches, dings, dents, blemishes. So make sure the wood is definitely ready for the true oil. But it's looking pretty good. And so here's the finished stock. Is it perfect? No. No, like I said, it wasn't perfect to begin with. There were some dings and dents and scratches, and although I worked many of them out, some didn't come out, and some were just in there too deep. There's a few. There's a little chip up here, where wood is actually missing, and there's not much you can do about that when wood is missing. And like I said, I got it for a really good deal, so I wasn't too concerned. I wasn't even sure I was going to refinish it, but I decided to do that, and I'm glad I did, because I think it's a very nice piece of wood. It's black walnut, like I found out, and I don't think the camera does it justice of what it looks like now compared to what it did. It looks a lot better, and I'm more happy with it now. I'm pleased with it. I'm pleased with the way this turned out. And again, it didn't cost me much, so. But there it is, all finished. And that was with the citrus strip. Took it off, and I got some of the stain off. And then I used the true oil to finish this, and it's beautiful. It's a great piece of wood. I love the design of the Thompson Center Hawken, so there it is, ready to be put back together now.